The small upgrade trap that slowly makes you poor. You did not go broke buying something you could not afford. You went broke buying something slightly better than what you already had. That is the part nobody warns you about. Not the reckless decisions. Not the impulse buys at 2 a.m. The quiet, rational, completely defensible upgrades. The ones where you looked at two options, picked the one that cost a little more, and felt good about it. That feeling is the trap. Let us start with a number. The average American household earns around $80,000 a year. Comfortable by global standards. Enough to save. Enough to build something real over a decade or two. And yet the median retirement savings for people between 55 and 64 in the United States is roughly $87,000. That is 1 year of income. For people who spent 30 years working, the question economists keep dancing around and personal finance gurus keep refusing to answer honestly is this: where did the rest of it go? It did not go to emergencies. It did not go to one catastrophic mistake. It leaked, slowly, quietly, one reasonable decision at a time. Here is how the trap works. You need a phone. Your old one is fine, technically, but the new one has a better camera, longer battery life, and it is only $40 more per month. $40. That is nothing. You take it. You are moving into a new apartment. You budgeted for a 1-bedroom, but for $200 more per month, you can get the one with in-unit laundry and a second bathroom. That is obviously worth it. You sign the lease. You are buying a car. You had a number in mind. Then the salesman mentions that for just $80 more per month, you get the trim level with heated seats, the sunroof, and the upgraded sound system. You are going to own this car for 6 years. Over 6 years, what is $80? What is $80? Over 6 years, it is $5,760 before interest. But you do not think about it like that. Nobody does. You think about it as $80 per month, which is nothing. That is the first mechanism of the trap. We are wired to evaluate recurring costs in the smallest possible unit. Monthly feels manageable. Annual feels real. A decade feels abstract. The financial industry has known this for a very long time. Now here is where it gets uncomfortable. Each of those decisions in isolation is defensible, maybe even correct. The better phone does have a better camera. The apartment with laundry is genuinely more convenient. Heated seats are, objectively, nice. The problem is not any single upgrade. The problem is that your brain treats each decision as the only decision. It does not sum them. So you get the better phone. Then you get the nicer apartment. Then you get the upgraded car. Then you get the premium cable package because you are already spending on the apartment. Then you get the name brand groceries because you are working hard and you deserve good food. Then you get the gym membership at the nicer gym because you are already paying for quality everywhere else. And suddenly your $80,000 salary is funding a $90,000 lifestyle. You are not buying things you cannot afford. You are buying things you can almost afford, which is worse, because almost is invisible. There is a concept in behavioral economics called lifestyle inflation, though that term undersells how mechanical and predictable the process actually is. The real version works like this. When your income goes up, your reference point shifts. You used to compare your spending to what you had before. Now you compare it to what people at your new income level seem to have. You upgrade to match. Then you get comfortable. Then you upgrade again when income rises. The savings rate stays roughly constant. The absolute number of dollars you save might even grow. But the gap between what you earn and what you spend stays stubbornly thin. Because expenses follow income the way a shadow follows a person. The data on this is quiet, but devastating. Studies consistently show that people's subjective sense of financial security has almost no correlation with their actual income beyond a certain baseline. People making $200,000 a year report feeling just as financially stressed as people making $80,000, because both groups have structured their lives around their income ceiling rather than their income floor. The upgraded lifestyle does not make you feel richer. It just makes you feel like this is normal. Now here is the hidden math that most people never see. The question is not just what those small upgrades cost you now. The question is what they cost you in 40 years. That $40 phone upgrade. Every month. For a decade. With inflation, with renewal cycles, with the inevitable upgrade to the next model. Call it $500 a year. Invested instead at a modest 7% annual return for 30 years, that is roughly $47,000. That $200 apartment upgrade. Assume you move every 4 years and consistently choose the slightly nicer option. Call it $2,400 a year. Same math, same 30 years. That is over $226,000. The car, the groceries, the gym, the streaming services you have and use and the ones you have and do not. Add them up, and you are not looking at small numbers anymore. You are looking at the difference between retiring at 62 and retiring at 72. And here is the quiet absurdity of it. The people who chose the cheaper phone, the slightly less convenient apartment, the base trim level, they did not live worse lives. They just kept a little more of what they built. Over time, they accumulated the difference. There is a version of this story that feels like a morality tale. Rich people are frugal. Poor people waste money on luxuries. Work hard, spend less, deserve more. That version is wrong, and it is also condescending. Because the upgrade trap does not target the irresponsible. It targets the successful. It specifically catches people who are doing well, people with rising incomes, people who have earned the right to spend a little more. People who look around at their peers and see that the slightly nicer option is what people in their position choose. The trap is most powerful precisely where it hurts most, in the decisions that feel earned. You worked hard this year. You got a raise. You deserve the upgrade. And maybe you do. But deserve is not a financial strategy. Deserve does not compound. There is a practical counter-argument worth taking seriously. Not all upgrades are equal. Spending more on your mattress might improve your sleep, your health, your productivity over years in ways that are genuinely hard to price. Spending more on a neighborhood might mean better schools, which has consequences that span generations. There are upgrades that are genuinely investments in quality of life or human capital, and treating all spending as waste is its own kind of poverty. True. All of that is true. But notice how easy it is to put any spending in that category if you try hard enough. The upgraded car becomes a safety decision. The nicer restaurant is about maintaining relationships. The premium gym subscription is an investment in your health. Every expense can be justified with a good enough story. The mental test is not whether you can justify the upgrade. You can always justify it. The test is whether you would miss it. Whether you would notice 3 months from now if you had taken the cheaper option instead. Most upgrades, honestly, you would not notice. The unsettling part is not that we are being manipulated, though we are. The unsettling part is that the manipulation is not hidden. It is built into how we naturally think. We compare. We anchor to what we see around us. We evaluate options in isolation instead of in accumulation. We feel that spending money on ourselves is a form of self-respect. None of that is irrational. All of that is deeply, structurally human. Which means the solution is not obvious. You cannot just tell someone to spend less. That has never worked. You cannot just make better decisions in the moment, because the moment is exactly where the trap is set. What you can do is change what you measure. Not your monthly budget. Not what you can afford. Not whether this particular upgrade is worth it. Ask instead, what percentage of what you earned this year you actually kept. Track that number. Watch it over time. Because wealth is not what you earn. It is not what you buy. It is the distance between those two things, measured over decades. The middle class in developed economies has, by historical and global standards, extraordinary income. And yet it consistently arrives at retirement age with almost nothing accumulated. Not because of crises, not because of catastrophes, because of $40 a month, because of $200 more for the nicer place, because of the reasonable, rational, completely defensible decision to get the slightly better version of the thing they were going to buy anyway. And the question that nobody really has a clean answer to is this. If the trap is this mechanical, this predictable, and this thoroughly documented, and people still walk straight into it, generation after generation, income bracket after income bracket, then what exactly are we saying when we tell people to make better financial choices? Are we giving advice? Or are we just describing very precisely what is going to happen anyway?